Hey, I'm April, and today I'm going to give you 3 unique ways to write compelling lyrics. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're new here, consider subscribing. I post new videos every Wednesday. So let's get started. Number 1 is asking a question and then trying to figure out the answer throughout the song. So for instance, I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain? I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain coming down on a sunny day? Yeah. So not only is it just a question about like, hey, have you seen the weather outside? It's crazy. It's obviously a metaphor. So you're able to take just that really simple question of, have you ever seen the rain coming down on a sunny day? And then you're able to expand from there. I also use this method in one of my songs. It's called In Neutral. So if you get a chance, go check that one out. Little plug for myself here. Number 2, I call this zooming in and zooming out. And really the entire concept here is that you are focusing in on a tiny little detail and then moving out from there. Or you can start really macro and then kind of move in toward the micro. A good way to get you started here is to close your eyes and think of something really tiny, maybe a key or a necklace, really whatever comes to your mind, but something very tiny. I want you to think about what it looks like. Think about what it feels like. What's that tactile sensation? Think about if it has a smell, right? Like maybe if you picked a cup of coffee, that could work, right? That would have a very distinct smell. I want you to think of it in terms of every sense that you can attach to it. Now that you've done that for that small thing, I want you to zoom out. Now I want you to look at the room that that object is in. I want you to imagine if there are people in that room. Is this object something that's really specific to a certain memory that you have? Because if that's the case, you can really just zoom out into that specific memory. You can think, where was I when I got this necklace? Or what was this the key to? Who's holding the key? Who's drinking this coffee with me? I want you to think about the sounds in the room, the smells in the room, everything that might attack your senses. And from there, zoom out even further. Think about the emotion that is connected to that memory or to that scene in your head. If you're talking about a coffee shop, is that the coffee shop where you met the love of your life? Or is that the coffee shop where some jerk stood in front of you in line and just made your blood boil over because that's the jerk who was mean to you in high school? It could really be any number of things. So now that you have an emotion and a tone attached to your story, what you can start to do is zoom back in. You can start to think, what does the coffee represent? What does that key represent? What does that tiny object represent in the grand scheme of that emotion? And you can keep zooming in and out until you start to create a really solid picture. And you can use that as the basis for your lyrics. At that point, you'll have a really solid main idea, and you'll have built up a real sense of atmosphere. So you can use all of those sense descriptions, you can use all of those themes and all of that good stuff that we just came up with to bulk up your song and make it really special. Our final step is looking inward. And I know that sounds really hokey, but actually, the things that are going on inside of your own head are a really good place to start for your songwriting. You have a well of built up emotions and memories and thoughts and all sorts of great things that are inside of you that you get to channel in the unique way that only you can. Nobody else has your specific memories. Nobody else writes in exactly the same way you do. Pro tips as far as that is concerned would be go to therapy and keep a dream diary. I think that's a really cool place to start because you're able to wake up in the morning, write down whatever you had a dream about, and then you're able to either dive into your subconscious in a really cool way and get to know your inner self and what you actually care about, or you can have a dream about a haunted house and then you can write a song about a haunted house, which is also a really fun place to start. So those were my 3 ways to write compelling lyrics. I hope that they helped you, and if they did, please let me know in the comments below and give me a like, share this with any friends you have who are interested in songwriting or poetry or any of those good, beautiful things. And make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any songwriting tips or tricks in the future.